Hi, second graders. Today we are going to practice adding ones, tens, and hundreds. So our learning target is we are learning to use place value to add ones, tens, and hundreds to numbers. We're going to start by adding hundreds together. So on my page, I have 200 plus 200. Now I'm going to show you a couple different ways to do this. The first way would be to do a place value drawing. So I have 200 plus 200. So I see 200 here and 200 here. If I count those up, I get 100, 200, 300, 400. So 200 plus 200 equals 400. Another way you could do this is to do a vertical equation. Remember, vertical means that one number is on top of another. So if I write this out vertically, I can start in my ones house and I see 0 plus 0. Well, nothing plus nothing gives me nothing, so I'm going to put a 0 in my ones. Then I'm going to look at the tens house and I see 0 tens plus 0 tens. So I don't have any tens, which means I'm going to have to put another 0 down here. And then when I get over to my hundreds house, well, I see 2 plus. I know that 2 plus 2 equals 4. So I see another way that shows me 200 plus 200 equals 400. The next equation I'm going to be looking at is 200 plus 20. So I can start again by trying to solve this using a place value picture. I'm going to draw 200. So I have 100 and 200. And then I'm going to add 20. Now 20 has 0 ones and 2 tens in it, so I need to draw 2 10 sticks. So if I add 200 plus 20, I have 100, 200, 210, 220. So my total is going to be 220. Now I can also stack this vertically. Remember, that's one on top of the other. So if I do 200 plus 20, I can also solve for my total. Now, one thing you need to make sure you do if you are stacking these vertically is that you are lining up your place values. So what I mean by that is the ones are in the same spot in the equation. The tens are also stacked right on top of each other, and the hundreds are on top of each other. We need to make sure we line up the ones and the tens and the hundreds. That's super duper important. Otherwise, we'll get the wrong answer. So in my ones house, I see 0 plus 0, and that gives me a 0. In my tens, I see 0 tens plus 2 tens. Well, 0 plus 2 gives me 2. And then for my hundreds, I see 2 hundreds, and I don't have any hundreds in my bottom number. So my 2 hundreds is going to stay the same. So my answer to 200 plus 20 is 220. The last problem I'm going to look at is 200 plus 2. Now again, I'm going to start with that place value picture. If I have 2 hundreds and I want to add 2 more, all I need to do is add 2 ones. So when I count that up, I have 100, 200, 201, 202. So that's the first way I learned to solve it. Now the next way, remember, is that vertical equation. What does vertical mean? That means it's going up and down. So I have 200 plus 2. Now again, I was very, very careful to make sure to put my 2 ones in the ones house or the ones column, because if I put it somewhere else, I wouldn't get the right answer. Now, I'm going to start by adding my 0 ones plus 2 ones. That gives me 2. In my tens, I see that I have 0 tens plus no other tens are in that number 2, so it's going to stay a 0. And then finally in the hundreds, I see that I have 2 hundreds and I don't have any more that I'm adding. So it's just going to stay a 2. So 200 plus 2 gives me 202. Now we're going to use what we know about place value to solve a story problem. So go ahead and read along with me. A camping club buys some raisins. They buy 3 cartons that have 100 bags each. They also have 24 bags left from their last trip. How many bags of raisins does the club have? Now, the first thing I want to do with this story problem is I want to underline the question. The question they are asking me is, how many bags of raisins does the club have? So that's the answer that I'm looking for. I'm going to write an answer box so I remember to find that answer. I'm also going to draw a line for my label so that I make sure that I have a label. Okay, so the camping club buys some raisins. Now, what are they doing? They're buying raisins. What do we know about those raisins? Well, we know that they buy 3 cartons, and the cartons have 100 bags each. We also know that they have 24 bags left from a different trip. So we have a few different numbers here. We have the number 3, we have the number 100, and we have the number 24. So what are we going to do with those? Well, they are buying the raisins in a special way. They're buying them in cartons. A carton has a lot of bags inside of it. How many bags does it have? Well, each one has 100. So we have practiced drawing out 100 all of 2nd grade, right? So to draw 100, we can draw it as a square. So this square is going to be our carton. So this is our first carton. So I'm going to draw a little 1 inside for carton number 1, and we know that that means that there's 100 bags inside of that 1 carton. Now, they didn't just buy 1 carton though. How many did they buy? They bought 3. So I have 1 carton so far. I'm going to draw my 2nd carton, and I'm going to draw my 3rd carton. Now, each one of those cartons also has 100 bags. So I have 100 bags in this one. I have 100 bags in this one. And I have 100 bags in my 3rd one. Now, is that all that they have? No, it's not all that they have because they still have 24 bags left. So let's think. 24 has 2 10s and 4 1s. So how could we draw those 24 bags in a really easy way? We could draw 2 10 sticks, and we could draw 4 1s to give me my 24 bags. Now, if I remember what my question was asking me, we want to know how many bags of raisins does the club have? Well, if they have 100 plus 100 plus 100, How many hundreds is that? How many 100 boxes do I have? 300. Now we know they also have 24 bags. So I'm going to add my 300 bags from the cartons and my 24 bags that are left over. So I'm going to add 300 plus 24. Now when I add that, I see that I have 4 ones, 2 tens, and 3 hundreds. So my answer is going to be 324 bags of raisins. All right, second graders, so now that we've practiced adding ones and tens and hundreds to different numbers, you are ready to go on to your homework page and your remembering page.